guess we're gonna do another one just to show you guys. Alright, so me and John just got here to Mike's. We're working on Hert's motor. So these are the old rotors that were done for him. I'm not really sure who did them, but it doesn't matter. The motor spun a bearing on the front, which was unknown to us. It was a little bit harder to start. We weren't expecting a bearing, so we're gonna go through everything with Mike. We're gonna make sure that it didn't have a balance problem. The first thing we want to do is with a rotary engine, when you balance them, you want both of these to be the same exact weight. So that's like weight matching. And then after they all match in weight, you balance the assembly. So we're gonna do two things. We're gonna weigh the rotors, and then the second thing is we're gonna balance.
Yeah, well,
and see how far off they are, because these are balance weights right here. It keeps the rotor from wobbling.
yeah, so they need to be within about a gram of each other for a good balance. And that's after the rotors get balanced on their own axis. Like after everything's done, they need to weigh about a gram apart. This is a S6 and a S5 rotor apparently. So they, like from the factory, weigh different amounts. Like a C rotor and a S5 and a C rotor and S6 don't weigh like anywhere near each other. So you can't mix and match them without.
So it's
balance.
Two different series. Years apart, so that's like, you know, one thing. I guess let's weigh them.
Alright, so here's first rotor.
So
It's about 187, 188.
okay,
Or, yeah, 4,187. Here's rotor
and then
number
that's
2.
the second one. So
4,238.
So, I mean,
50 grams apart.
it's pretty obvious that the rotors weren't weight matched. Now we're gonna check the balance. So Mike's gonna weight match them. So he's gonna take weight off the heaviest one to match the lightest one. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna check the balance of the rotors and see how off balance they are on their own axis from wobbling side to side. Alright, so this is going to be the first rotor.
Yeah, this is the S6 rotor out of that assembly. I'm going to spin it up and see what it looks like. So, normally I like to get them down below half a gram dynamic imbalance on one side or another. And to leave Mazda, they had to be under 6 grams of dynamic imbalance. So that was like the high end of their tolerance. The smaller the number, the better.
Pretty much like 6 is for like an everyday car, not a race car. And I want to get it as close to 0 as possible.
Yeah, the better the balance, the better off you are.
Okay.
So this one is 3 grams off on the left flank and 4.5 on the right flank. So gear side is 3.
Okay.
Wheel side is 5.
So pretty much that imbalance makes it go like that. Given that's not a lot,
it's not terrible. I've
you
seen
know,
worse
we
on
can
it.
definitely improve on it to where this rotor is just floating on oil, no imbalance on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so this is the second rotor.
Let's see what she does.
See how close I can get to it.
Yeah, smash my camera.
That one's bad.
Yeah. All right, so this one's 10 grams heavier on one side, 2 grams on the other, off imbalance.
Yeah, so right here, It needs 10 grams taken out. That's going to be a trick. So there were probably some balance weight holes from yeah, you can still see what's left of them. So this is what happens when you lighten a rotor and you don't balance it, or you do any machine work to a rotor and you don't balance it. What was done at the factory is undone and you have to redo it.
Okay. So Mazda spec is under 6 for an OEM engine. This is at 10. It's 2 reasons why I could have failed the bearing, and right off the bat right there with just rotor imbalance. So next up is going to be the whole assembly. So once Mike weight matches these and balances them, he's going to balance the whole assembly to that weight, and we'll see how far off it is. So the reason you
gotta blur this out.
Oh yeah, we'll show this side. But the reason that these rotors didn't get, at the last machine shop, they didn't get clearance of the tip. So you can see right here the shiny part. This is where it was contacting the plate. So over here, you take this little extra off so it doesn't, you know, because that's the farthest part. Oh. But yeah, contacting. Same thing here, contacting the plate. So, you know, that kills pretty much kills the life of the engine.
Yeah, and it's worse when the rotor isn't dynamically balanced to a close tolerance, because it wants to wobble around.
So this rotor was out of balance also, like you saw in the video, so it wasn't balanced on its own axis. So we're gonna correct all these problems that were caused by past machine work. And you know, yes, like the motor lasted 3 years, but you know, we would have preferred it to last longer. So we're gonna do everything the correct way with the machine work, build the engine, and you know, and make it more reliable than ever. These are the ones for the other engine?
Spare engines. Well, the new engine now.
Well, the new engine. And then these are his old ones, which he has to remove some weight out of to make them balanced.
It's got like 12 grams needs to come out of this edge, which is not easy. Especially
Out of here?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can't really take weight out of this part right here, so he's gonna take weight off here, weight off here. That way it'll balance out the motor.
You got a good idea how much material to take, but take a little bit, put it on the balancer, bring it back over here until you get it within about a gram, and then I can touch it up on the balancer. We brought a special guest today. It's got the neck gear.
Now we're just gonna put it in the balancer and see how close we got to it, and then take some more off that and get it perfect. All right, so this is after we removed some weight. You said it was 13 grams?
It was, yeah, 12 or
12 grams off on one side, and how much on the other? 2 grams. So, you know, it's pretty hard to like see how much material we removed. So we just gotta go back and forth, removing material until it comes out perfect. So it should get us pretty close now.
Yeah, so we went from 12 to about 5. So
Yeah.
we gotta take about 3 grams out on
So
each side.
we just need a little bit more. And this is after he removed a lot of material off of it, and it's still a little bit off.
Kids don't want to see mochi.
Guess you're gonna have to play some.
And I always put music on.
Yeah. We're talking about making Mochi an OnlyFans account.
But like you can feel in the machine if something's like way out of balance. You can feel the machine
Yep.
shaking.
We're gonna try again and see what it does. It's about consistency.
Yo, why you keep touching your face and your mouth, man, and eyes, and your corona?
We We gotta still take 2 grams off, but that's showing that it's consistent.
I didn't do good with dairy.
Alright, sweet. We're under a gram, so now we're gonna start working it by hand on the manual here.
So this last little bit is done by hand, just because it's like so little.
Anything less than a gram, you don't get good repeatability taking it on and off the balancer. Even though you got jigs to put everything in the same place, it's just, you never get it quite right. You'd be chasing that last couple of tenths for forever.
Everything's under a gram. This rotor's pretty much ready. We just gotta do the next one and then balance the whole assembly as a whole.
We had to take, like, visually that much weight. That's about 12 grams. We had to take that much weight out of just this one side of the rotor to get it to balance. That's what happens when you just do lightning and you don't rebalance the rotors.
Alright, so we're here balancing Hert's assembly, finishing the balancing on it. But Mike didn't let us get lunch because he was rushing us. So this is my lunch today. Look at that. Potted meat, some crackers, and some watermelon juice. Oh, you're out of focus. It's alright. I know you're busy, but I'll bug you real quick. So how do you figure out the weight for the rotors to do this? Like, how do you get it to match perfectly?
Okay, so we got the rotors, Hertz rotors. These ones, they were 50 grams apart before. Now they weigh within a gram of each other. Check it on the scale over here. So this scale's good down to a gram. This one's good down to like a few tenths. It's got some fucking chips in it or something. They're 161, 162. And then you take the weight of all your seals and springs plus the weight of the oil that's inside of there, and that's like trade secret. So I'm not gonna tell you how I figured that one out.
And then, so once you do all that, then you just...
Yeah, so this metal piece here is balanced, and it clamps onto the centric shaft. And and so I take the weight of each of these and I subtract it from that weight that I put together, and then I divide it by 6, and I build these little weights that go onto here to simulate the weight of the rotor. It's heavy at 3 points, and you got their high spot right here, high spot right here. So this thing should just rotate around like that all day, and it shouldn't find a high or low spot, but we'll figure out what weight's on or not on these counterweights, and we'll fix it from there.
So right now we should see what the difference in balance was from that 50 grams that was corrected out of the rotor, right?
Yeah, I don't know which space you ran that rotor in, so if it was front or rear, you should be able to see it. And it depends on... Huh?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, it depends on when the balance shop did it, if they averaged the weight of the rotors and set up their bob weights for that, or if they actually simulated each one and they had a front and a rear. I used to do that, and like I had some problems with it, so now all I do is weight match the rotors exactly so you can run a front or rear.
Science, bitch. So we got haircuts. Look at that. Mike's got is a little fucked up because Mike doesn't know how to ask for haircuts, but the face on point though. Oh yeah, the dude got his hair cut too. There's the boring part no one gets to see. No, almost.
It's at a big angle, so it's not reading true.
Good enough for Hert. There's a part that we run away once this is running so they don't kill us, right?
So it made it up to 1,000 RPM, so it's not too far off.
I mean, the engine made it to 9,500, so it should be fine.
Yeah, I mean, like the balancer does a safety check, and if it's going to throw itself apart, it won't spin it up that fast. Alright, so 20 grams off, and it's actually where it should be, so that's good. I can actually fix that.
Hey Mike, 6 foot distance.
Breathing down your neck, bruh. So it doesn't get
Damn, look at that care he takes some people's shit.
Well, no, that's for my balancer.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, there you go. No lube.
No, it's cast iron, bruh.
Don't put it in dry, kids. Don't do that. Don't be like Mike, like Uncle Mike.
But everybody's always on your videos, on their comments, being like, "Oh, you gotta use lubrication. Why aren't you using coolant?" It's because it's cast iron. It's got carbon graphite molecules in it. Nodules.
Where are you trying to get it to?
Under 1. Yeah, under a gram.
So if it's oh, okay.
So, like, you can take too much weight out, and you can almost never get it to 0. Like, this won't be able to pick up 0. It'll always tell you. That was pretty good. It'll always
Damn,
tell
look
you
at that. It looks like you went a little too deep on it. It went to 9. Like.
I like to leave a couple of grams on one side when I go to the other side because it can change stuff up and get kind of funky.
Mhm.
2 rotors aren't as bad, but 3 rotors are just a nightmare to balance.
So how do you know how much weight you're taking now? Or you're just guessing?
It gives you a depth.
Oh.
I'm just guessing.
Eyeball it. You got a good eyeball, man.
Bruh, I've been doing this a while. Got some dirt.
You should have said, hey, listen here, little shit. This ain't my first time.
This ain't my first rodeo.
Mike's working hard today.
Huh?
So you're working hard today.
Are we working?
So, the way that like the physics on this works is the deeper you go, even if you're taking more weight out of the counterweight.
The deeper you go, like that's how your issue when you start getting better. So, I mean, it's the same shit as real life. Same concept, bro.
Like...
If you want your girl to stay with you, the deeper you go, the longer she'll stay with you.
The deeper you go, the less it actually does, like removing weight from the rotating assembly. So like the further out on the diameter you are, the more effective weight you're taking. So you can take
I tried that shit one time and ended up with a kid.
I don't like going into previous holes. I like
Yo, who does though? Like, come on, like, yeah, damn, come on, Mike. You're talking about fucking life right now.
quality material.
He likes new stuff.
Like,
so it's gonna like walk this around a bunch, and I'm gonna have to reset my front.
Mike's on some shit right now.
yo, Mike's horny right now, man.
I'll send you
Yeah.
apprenticeship certification papers in there.
Sick. Now I just gotta let my hair grow out.
That'll actually like screw the balance. I've had that happen.
Fucking
It
idiot.
falls down there and it's
Oh, we gotta restart
it up
now.
on the front.
Here goes the balancing.
Did change balance.
Yo, look at it.
Before.
Holy shit. We can't really see, but zoom in.
Not bump it this time.
Yeah, Mike. Come on, man.
This should be the final spin on this. I think we're down to about 1/4 of a gram front and rear. So,
I ran out of crackers, so hopefully it's the final one. Yeah, this engine was put together with parts from my people's engines that I bought over time.
alright, so not too bad. 2.21 grams here, 0.32 grams in the rear.
That's it. I'm gonna send it.
Yep, it's good enough.